Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to Android Central Live. We're here at the Samsung Developers Conference in, is it sunny outside, San Francisco? I'm not sure. I haven't been outside in a while. We are here now with a little company you might have heard of called Cisco.
Yep.
Based in the, are you in the Bay Area? Or
we are in the Bay Area.
You are in the Bay
San
Area.
Jose.
The logo probably should have given that away, I think. So you guys are here to talk about DevNet coming up?
We are. We are, first of all, we're platinum sponsors of the event here today. So Samsung is a strategic alliance partner for us. And this is a great opportunity because it's their first developer conference, but we're launching our new developer community called Cisco DevNet on November 15th. And so we're here to talk to you about it.
Awesome. And Susie?
Yeah, so we're having a good time over here. So Rick and I are running Cisco's developer program going forward. So basically, if we take a look at what we're doing is, Cisco has a number of platforms for the enterprise. So we're in virtually every enterprise in the world.
Right.
And if you picture the shifts to software, then we need to let software developers build a nice set of rich enterprise apps on top of our platforms.
Anything I'm a normal consumer. I'm not a developer. Anything, bring it down to my level. What might I see from the fruits of your labor in how many ever years down the road?
And in the fruits of our developers'
right? Yes,
labor,
absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
So yeah, there's a number of platforms that we make for the enterprise. So first of all, of course, Cisco has lots of networking equipment.
Right.
So we make networks, we make data centers. And if you look at all of that, there's a shift to software-defined networking. So networks are going to turn more software-controlled. And so when you look at that, we're exposing different APIs out of the network to allow different developers to actually write networking-type apps on this whole new shift to software-defined networks. So that's one key area. On top of it, if you look at wireless, so this actually gets closer to home of what normal people want. When you go to a shopping mall or you go to a casino or you go to a hotel, then you're always kind of registering for your Wi-Fi access. So you kind of sign in, get your Wi-Fi access. Well, Cisco makes those Wi-Fi access points. And if you think about the technology of what's going on in there, then what happens is, you kind of sign in, and then when you walk around, there's different access points that you connect to.
Right.
So we actually have location capabilities in those Wi-Fi access points. And then when you get handed off between different access points, the developer doesn't have to worry about that. We have all that coming into a wireless controller, and then we're giving out APIs. And these APIs will actually let developers use the locations of people, what devices they've connected as you move throughout. So this is called our Connected Mobility Experience, CMX. And we have a number of APIs. We'll be having some hackathons around that, which will be pretty good, and we're just excited for people to write apps, using all these location stuff. You're in a casino, someone starts going towards the exit, boom, free drink ticket, get them back in.
Now I understand exactly what you're talking about. Yes, it all makes sense now.
We also have a whole set of collaboration capabilities, so Rick can tell you about some of those.
Right, so building on Susie, so now you've located somebody, okay, but what do you want to do with them? So a lot of people know us for our networking equipment, but we're also a software company ourselves, so we develop applications, and a key application area for us is our collaboration applications and APIs for that. So you're probably familiar with WebEx. You've been on a WebEx conference call. Okay, that's one of our leading applications. We also have Jabber, which is our instant message and presence application. And so when you think about it, so if you have an application developer and they have a particular app, a business app, and now they want a collaboration enable. So maybe they want to take that application and include presence and instant messaging so you can locate somebody, okay? And then message them. Or you can do click to call or click to video. Video is becoming a very important sort of communication tool for people to collaborate. So now you can locate somebody, see if they're available inside your application, and then click to call or click to video, and collaboration really enhances that experience of that particular
For as simple as Phil's in the office, Phil's not in the office.
Phil's in the office, Phil's in the and he's available. And let's say I get an application that shows me Phil hasn't been performing very well. Yeah, exactly.
Not Rick, Phil.
Just Phil, right. And his numbers are red, but I want to get a hold of Phil and talk to him real time live. I can use the APIs to collaboration enable the application that we're both looking at to get in contact with you, and then we can talk about the data that I'm looking at in your app.
How early in the process are we? If this is going to be your first DevNet and it's coming up in a couple of weeks, are we talking years in the making for all this
Actually,
when it finally hits businesses? Yeah.
Well, so actually the developer program, like kind of the new refacing of the developer program will happen next month. Now, these products though, and the APIs, the whole product portfolio has been in the works for years.
Okay.
So if you think about, going to voice over IP,
right?
So Cisco is really big in making voice go to voice over IP.
I use it.
You do it, okay. And then it's also connected to Cisco's telepresence products. So when you have video conferencing, both for, on the desktop, in conference rooms, kind of room to room.
Right.
If you think about it, your instant messaging, your presence, how do you make phone calls between these different video conferencing units, and then in software extending through Jabber so that you can actually have a seamless video call between a software Jabber application or some new application that someone will write, and then talking seamlessly with your high-end telepresence room, right?
If it
That's all
sounds
pretty cool.
complicated, it's because it is.
It's not. It's not. It's a video call.
Although I'll tell you, with the launch of DevNet, so that's what's new, what we're doing is making it easy for people.
Right.
Okay, so that's the whole thing about DevNet is how do you make these tools accessible? So the APIs, the SDKs around it, we're going to have tutorials. So Phil, we have a tutorial there for you.
You could be a developer too.
You could be a developer. So we'll have tutorials out there, sample code and sample applications, software tools that you can download. And more importantly, so if you think about Cisco, you started off talking about, hey, infrastructure, enterprise, or big company.
Right.
Well, for your average developer, it's going to be very difficult to try to acquire equipment, to build out your own network, to build out your own communication. So we have a virtual sandbox. So developer, the investment is very small or nothing, because all they really have to do is time, get the API, develop the application, then go up to our virtual sandbox, and now they can access basically a lab in the sky, and they can test out their application so they know it works, right? So it's a very sort of low entry point for a developer to get in to start developing enterprise apps.
And then after their application is tested, then they know that it's going to work in enterprises that have the Cisco equipment, which covers a very large number of enterprises. So it's just a nice way to get into the enterprise without having to, fully get into the enterprise.
Will the developers be deploying through Cisco, or will they be on their own, or is it a mix of both?
So it's a great question. So we have a marketplace catalog whereby the developers, once they finish with their application, we can feature their application on that catalog. We also will do testing and verification, so we can do sort of an endorsement stamp, a good housekeeping seal of approval, if you will, to let people know that this is a reliable app. And then later on in the year, over time, we'll actually facilitate, even through commerce, of getting the application out there through like a store type of experience, and that's coming in the future. But right now, this marketplace is a key area for the developers to get access to the enterprise. I should also mention, so every product that we sell, when we're marketing those products, we try to let our customers know, hey, come to our marketplace, take a look at our catalog, look at the applications that integrate with these products. And then we have a pretty extensive field and channel network too. I mean, so that's, most of the developers don't have the luxury of having this huge sort of sales force. And this is one of the big things that Cisco brings to an individual developer that wants to get into the enterprise and get access. Our field can help with that.
If I'm a developer and I can't make it to DevNet on November 15th, what can I do? Is there some online method of learning all this? Or?
Yeah, so it's www.developer.cisco.com. And you can come there now. On November 15th, it's going to have a new look and feel. So all these tools and things that I talked about are going to go live then. But just come to that URL. Now today, if you're at the conference today, though, stop by our booth. You really should come by our booth. Everybody here who's at the conference, who comes by our booth, if they grab our APIs for some of the APIs that we talked about today, we'll give them free entry into the partner program. Okay, so remember I talked about that go-to-market with the field, the channels, and the marketplace. We'll give free access to that. So all they have to do is develop an app, and then they'll get sort of free access to our go-to-market.
It's exciting stuff. It really is.
It is, yeah. We'll
It's a little over my head, but it's still exciting.
Well, we'll just say there's complicated infrastructure in the enterprise.
Right.
We don't want our developers to have to worry about it. We want to expose up the API so they can write really cool software and applications that'll sit on top of all that.
Excellent.
And some of these APIs, literally 15 minutes, you can develop an app. Phil, 30 minutes maybe. But
Actually, we should talk about the DX650. So,
yeah, there's one last thing. Yeah, that's
So
right.
we actually have this Android-based video phone. We're actually showing it over in the booth. So, again, all those phones that are sitting on people's desktops, right? When you go to work. There's actually a new version of these phones that's called the DX650. Sorry about the numbering.
No.
And basically, you can write Android apps for this
Oh,
phone.
cool.
So imagine that you just have your phone, your keypad, you have an Android kind of tablet-like display right there, and boom, you can write apps for that.
Oh, neat.
And we're seeing a lot of large enterprises. This phone is brand new, so we're seeing a lot of large enterprise putting in big orders for these things because these enterprises will buy desk phones for people because they're there, secure, and they're not going to walk away, right? So they're buying them for them, and it's really a good opportunity for an Android developer to get into the enterprise market. I mean, the other thing is that an enterprise app sold in an enterprise market will usually, you may see less volume, but the price per app is much higher typically what we've been able to find. So another great opportunity for our developers.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for swinging by Android Central Live, and I have certainly learned a lot. So some exciting things coming up for Cisco. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you. And thank you to Samsung.
Thanks, Phil.
Thank you, Rick.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
So we're going to be back in a minute, and we'll be back in a minute. Just hang out. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.